Hi, I'm Dr. Singhania. I'm a pediatrician and I have been running Singhania Clinic in Dubai for the last 20 years. I firmly believe that a child's physical health is related to the child's mental health. If a child is unhappy, the child will be frequently sick. And if the child is sick, has allergies, he will be unhappy. For that reason, I have trained myself in psychology and education, including counseling and psychotherapy. If you're worried about anything, it could be a small thing or something really important. It could be things like, my child is not talking well, my child is not doing as well as his peers, or he's not interested in studies, or he has tantrums, frequent meltdowns which are more than necessary for his age, or you feel your child is feeling sad and worried. We are here to help you. And how would you benefit by coming to my clinic? Apart from the vast experience I have as a pediatrician, psychologist, and an educational therapist, I would say that we believe in being very comfortable, relaxed. We like to make our clients feel relaxed. I'm a very approachable person and I'm very dedicated. I would do an assessment very thoroughly. I use internationally recognized and standardized tests, but I also know that some tests may not be completely valid in different cultures, and I'm aware of that and I'm cognizant of that fact and take that into account as well. Whatever assessment I do is management driven. I know it's not enough just to find out what's wrong with your child. We need to know how to help him or her, and the treatment is complete and integrative. I believe a lot in biomedical treatments, which means changing the diet, adding different supplements, improving the atmosphere. Just making a child feel more relaxed and happy can make the child do better in the school. Whatever explanations I give in my reports, which are very comprehensive, are simplified and are understandable. I want to focus on the unbiased assessment that we do. First of all, we take a very detailed history and I collect the data from the child. I talk to the child one-on-one. I take data from the parents and from schools. And most of this is not just talking, but it's also they have to fill up questionnaires which are standardized. An important part of the assessment is observation and then of course using tests. The tests form an adjunct to the assessment. So it's not that whatever the results which emerge from the tests are written in stone. They help me to understand the child, to assess the child. I use different tests for academics like the WISC or the WIAT or the WIPC depending on the age of the child. I use academic assessments like the WIAT, which is the Wechsler's test for academics. I also believe that a child's self-esteem and emotions are very important, and hence I use standardized tests to find those out as well. And living in this part of the world, I know language becomes very important because most kids are not English language speakers. At least their first language is not English. And I do school visits when necessary. My reports are very thorough. They include all the information I have gathered in very readable language. I also put down the test results. I write down the tests that I have used and summarize and explain the test results. I'm very definitely use a medical profile. So I see the child's height, weight, the child's physical condition, and finally we make a diagnosis. Now it's not just the diagnosis, it's micro-diagnosis. That means you look at the different aspects which may be contributing to that child's problem. For example, if a child is hyperactive, okay, the diagnosis may be ADHD, but then you look at the other factors. Maybe the child is not talking well enough, which may be contributing to his hyperactivity, or maybe he has just listening comprehension problems, so he doesn't really understand what the teacher is saying. It could be a simple thing. He doesn't understand the teacher because the teacher talks in a different accent. Or the child may be having problems with friends, which affects his ability to learn in the classroom. So we look at all these different aspects which may contribute to the main problem. And then that helps us to make the management plan. Now, as I said before, I use a very integrative treatment management. We help, for example, on autism, I do use a lot of biomedical intervention. I help the parent to understand what it is and how to help the child in the home, how to talk and communicate with the child. We do things like theraplay, lab play, daily routine, socialization, how to communicate with your child, because finally autism is a communication and social disorder, and the most important partners are parents. The most important communicative partners for the child are parents. So it's not doing therapy for an hour per week, but it is an ongoing day-to-day management of the child, communicating with the child. Similarly, for ADHD and learning difficulties, we do things like social skills, because many kids with ADHD have difficulty making friends because either they're too difficult, or they are very egocentric. So we help them learn skills to make friends. We teach them skills on how to study, memory skills. And if a child has difficulty with writing or with reading, we do that treatment as well. I do use medication for all assessment, for all diagnosis, if and when it's needed, and of course in conjunction with parents' approval. I do a lot of counseling, both for parents as well as for the school. Involvement of the school is really important, and we are very transparent in how we handle our payment. I've put in the prices for the initial consult, which is around 200 dirhams, and then we take it around 15 minutes, and then we decide what the child actually needs in terms of a full consult, in terms of assessment. So the prices would vary depending upon how many sessions and which tests are used. I also do a biomedical assessment, which is based on DAN and MAPS. In fact, I have a fellowship in MAPS, so it helps me to decide what the child body needs to help the child's development. I do medicals. I'm also attached to the Mediclinic City Hospital, and I do regular medicals. Child with headache, fever, allergies, coughs and colds, I treat them. So for an appointment, please contact Singhania Clinic. This is my nurse and receptionist Ella. We have a telephone number, we have our email address. Please don't hesitate and contact us.